Hello everyone, this is Kunkura speaking. Today is the morning of the 3rd August 2026. I'm here at the Brandenburg Gate, the very symbol of my hometown Berlin. And this is the place where the people have put some stuff, after this terrorist attack on the CSD Berlin, my very first CSD where I was. I just shut up now, going there and just film a bit of the stuff that the people have laid down there. So this is pretty chilling actually, especially because I was there. I mean, I wasn't there anymore when it happened. I just moved with the parade from the beginning to the end, and then I was so exhausted that I went home. Tell you something, I will now go with you, or I make a cut now, and then I will show up again at my favorite statue, the Amazon on horseback, where I have ended my video from the CSD Berlin 2026, and then later I will go with you to the very place where the terrorist attack actually did happen. So stay tuned and we'll see you in a second. Okay, I have now arrived at the Amazon on horseback by Louis Tourillon, and yes, he was a Berlin sculptor, even though his name is French. And this is my favorite statue, and this is where my CSD Berlin trip has ended. You know, during the parade, you know, I went with the parade from the beginning to the end, and after that I was too exhausted to remain on the street of 17th June. It was very hot too, but this is my favorite statue, what I wanted to reach back then, and so I did. And you know, she has the same double-bladed battle axe, and I have to, like, my, can you see that actually? Here, sorry. Like my wristband, you know, the you know, I call it the Amazon symbol. It's actually the symbol of the lesbian pride flag. You know, I'm a male and straight ally, but you know, this symbol got my attention because the Labris, the double-bladed battle axe, is the standard melee weapon of the Amazons that I write about all the time. And you know, and she has that weapon too. And yeah, she's my favorite statue. Still looks like in decent shape. Those statues are getting checked once a year, and if they need some you know, refurbishment, then restoration, you know, then they receive that. But yeah, I just love the statue. And the Amazons, for me, they, you know, to me, due to the fact that they are all female, to me they are all homosexual, and that is why I went to the CSD Berlin 2026 as a straight ally in support of those women that I personally call Amazon sisters. But the fact is that, of course, I also came for the other people as a support, as a straight support, as a straight ally. And for me, the Amazons, they are, you know, so strong and powerful and always ready for combat. They love combat and they keep their freedom by fighting, you know. And this is what I think queer people and all other kinds of people have to learn. You know, demonstrations like the CSD, they are a good thing, but just 1 or 2 days later you return to work and you pay taxes to the same system that you were just demonstrating against. So personally, I'd say you should take the Amazons, and this is just my own opinion, of course. I don't say that you shall do it, but you know, personally I would say that you should take the Amazons, especially if you're female. I'm not, but you know, you should take them as a prime example of always being ready to fight, and not just stand around and let others attack you, but maybe take on arms and fight back. And I really mean this literally, you know, not just fight back with words, but also sometimes in a bloody fight with weapons. Seriously, because what else can you do if some crazy Islamic terrorist or anyone else, you know, attacks you, you know, just because you're a woman, or because you're queer, or because you are transsexual, or, I mean, that's also queer stands for everyone, but you know, this is what the people, according to my own views, have to realize. And yeah, if you come to Tiergarten, I mean, if you come to Berlin and you want to visit Tiergarten, the Amazon on horseback is just, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes of walk away from the Brandenburg gate. So you maybe want to check her out. It's a very beautiful statue. It's not our only Amazon statue, but it's one of the most beautiful ones. There's an almost exact copy of it close to the old National Gallery and the new museum, right between those two buildings on the museum island. But I will not go there today, because this is my favorite statue and I want to go with you now. You know, I will make a cut now, and then I will show up again with you at the very street where the terrorist attack actually happened. Before I do that, I want you to remember something. Everybody talks about the guy who did it, Abdul Ballout, you know, remember this name. Luckily the police shot the monster on the next day. But I want you to remember, a Polish woman of 65 years died during this assault, you know, she was killed. And I think more than 30 or 40 people, you know, the numbers vary, have been wounded. And 3 of them have been wounded so horribly that they've had life-threatening wounds. Luckily, they've survived in the hospital. You know, the hospitals, the doctors and nurses, thank you so much. They made sure that nobody passed away later from their wounds. But, you know, even if their bodies heal, they will always have scars. And not just on their bodies, but especially on their minds. They will never forget that day. Especially that Polish woman who was there with her mother, because her mother is the one who was killed by this son of a bitch. And, you know, she has lost her mother. She left that day with life-threatening wounds. She barely survived. And now she has to live without her mother. She will never forget that night. She will never forget the 25th July 2026. And, you know, and all the other victims won't forget it too, you know. And that's what we have to realize. These people will never be the same. From now on, they will always, I guess, take a lot of pills, you know, psychopharmaca, you know, have to go to psychiatrists, psychologists and all, and they will never be healed. You see, I am in contact with Brad Banal, the father of Cassie Banal, one of the Columbine High School victims who died on 20th April 1999, you know. And he told me that he and his wife Misty, you know, the Cassie's parents, they finally were able to get along with everything in summer 2018, 19 years after it happened, you know. I mean, they have lost their daughter on that day, but it took them 19 years to finally make a cut and, you know, try to just continue, you know. I mean, they were continuing right after that, you know, but only it took them 19 years so that the wounds did finally heal. But Brad told me via email that I rather only write about Cassie on her special days, like on her birthday and stuff, you know. So yeah, and this is how long it can take. But this young woman and also the other wounded, they will never heal. I don't think so, and we should always remember that. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to quit this video now, just remember that, and I'm now going to the street where it actually happened. This is not the street where it happened. This is just another place that I have just found. Over there in this direction is the Amazon on horseback, and here's another small memorial. I am alone again. I'm still at this small memorial. There are just some people riding their bicycles here, but that's normal in Tiergarten. Yeah, as I've said before, over there, down this road is the Amazon on horseback, and this I just found by accident now. And well, I can only remember again or remind you that, you know, even though the people put down all their stuff in here, which one day will be erased, you know, the wounds of those people will never heal. There's no way. The ones that really have been hit and wounded, you know, especially the woman who lost her mother that day and barely survived with her life and all, you know, their lives have changed forever, and there's no way that they will ever be back in their old self again. Linnéstraße, this is it. This is where it's supposed to be. Let's focus this. Okay. Yeah. Somewhere around here, this must have happened, the attack. So it wasn't happening where the people were partying, you know, it was at the outskirt of, at the southern outskirt of Tiergarten. Obviously there's no trace, of course. Maybe I have to walk a bit more, but I take this time to tell you again that, you know, no matter what we do, those people that have been affected, they will never heal. They will never be the same. They will always remember this horrible night, and they will go to many therapy sessions with psychologists, psychiatrists, maybe take all kinds of antidepressants and other medicine, and it won't really help, you know. I do not believe in psychology and psychiatry. You know, I suffer from depressions and also sometimes suicidal thoughts since 2004, so for more than 20 years, when I was a young teenager, you know. But something like this, yeah, I was hoping that you maybe see some traces or something, but you know, it has been far more than a week after the attack, so there's probably nothing left. But you know, this guy must have come down here with his van from the street and suddenly just decided to, you know, just drive onto this section somehow, you know, and then just crashed against a tree. Of course, I don't know which one. And then he just went out of the vehicle, and then he just attacked, according to my information, he attacked some people with a machete. And you can see that this area is, well, not sealed off. I could climb over it, or maybe here it's open here. I don't know. People are sitting there. There's no trace left, right? Yeah, I guess they already cleaned up everything. I mean, it has been already a while, again, more than a week. So yeah, and there's already the crossing, so I guess I won't see anything here. I was hoping that I maybe can figure out where it is exactly, or where it happened exactly. This is just the Lessing Memorial, where they actually construct something. Nothing happened here either, so yeah, I do not know. But somewhere around here it must have happened. Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't find the exact place, but somewhere here on the street. So at the southern outskirts of Tiergarten, you know, not far away from Potsdamer Platz, where we have been marching through during the parade, you know. Luckily nothing happened during the parade, but yeah, this is it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Lots of strength to all of you, and again, we just continue. I will be definitely from now on be an avid CSD goer after my first time at the CSD Berlin. Not just because of the terrorist attack, of course, but also in general, because I did really enjoy it, and I will do it again, and I will be there from now on. As long as I live in Berlin, I will show up at every Berlin CSD every year, and I will also on 29th August this month, so in just a few weeks, I will be at Reinickendorf, where they have the very first CSD of Reinickendorf. I will be there. And yeah, you know, Tiergarten is still a beautiful spot. It's just, you know, the shock is still very deeply. So yeah, it will take a while for us to heal, and well, the people that have really been hit by the attack or by the attacker, you know, the ones that have been wounded, and especially the family of the dead woman, they will never be healed. So yeah, I think I've had my finger over the microphone. I hope that that you can still hear me. Yeah, it's actually my first outdoor video. Anyway, I'm going home now. There's nothing that I can do here or still find. You've seen the memorial sites, which will, I guess, be taken away soon, and then people will just go back to normal and not do anything until the next terrorist attack, which makes me very angry. Anyway, thank you so much for now, and see you next time, and stay safe always.